there. That's perfect.
Okay. Did you see that? We just had a countdown. Looks like we're now live.
Mm-hmm.
I think Matthew's done it from beyond the grave.
Excellent. That's perfect. So welcome to episode 4 of Tales of the Old West Gold Country, titled The Funeral of Tiberius Claude. Before we begin, let's introduce our players and their characters. So start with Nicola, sorry. If you'd like to
Hi.
introduce your character and a bit about yourself.
Yeah. So I'm playing Tigoranish, sort of 40-year-old native. I've had sorry. I'm from the Great Lakes area of the US, and when I was young, my parents ran like a livery stable, looking after kind of wild horses that we capture out in the wild. I had 3 siblings, only myself, the oldest, and the middle child is still alive. Because they were sort of killed when colonizers tried to come and take the claim. So I left that area and became a labourer, and then I was a trader, sort of trading hides and animal meat, that kind of thing. And then became a frontier folk as I travelled west, and now I'm in San Miguel as a blacksmith.
Excellent. Excellent. Next up, we have Tony. If you'd like to introduce your character.
Yeah, hi, I'm Tony. My character is Glenn Hayden. I'm a young man. I come from was a quite wealthy, high-powered political family out east that was rocked by a big scandal, which I wasn't happy about at all. And I've basically been trying to dissociate myself from my family ever since. I've come out west to try and make my own way away from my family. I run the local general store, basically.
Thank you, Tony.
In
And
San
next up,
Miguel.
we have Simon.
Hello, I am Sheriff William Thomas, the newly appointed sheriff to San Miguel. I'm originally from England, but grew up in New York. My father was a policeman there, and then I ran away and joined the US Army and the Scouts of the Mexican-American War, and I've recently left there and ended up in San Miguel, where I've recently been appointed sheriff, and I'm bringing law and order back to the town.
Excellent. Hear, hear. Well done, Sheriff.
Excellent.
You have the full support of the citizens of the town, I'm sure.
Slowly.
And last but not least, Leon, would you like to introduce yourself and your character?
Sure. My name is Leon. I'm from Denmark, and I will be playing a character with European descent, Northern Europe. So my name in the game is Thomas Nikolai Olsen, or short Tom. My parents were surveyors, originally from British Columbia, and moved south as needed. They were kind of the vanguards of the civilization, they like to call themselves. They need to go out there and map the unknown before settlers could even move in and legally claim land there, or railroads could be built, or towns established, and so on. So dangerous work out there in the frontier. This also meant that I unfortunately lost my dad out there eventually as a young man, and with my mother we tried to move back north to British Columbia, and unfortunately also that was a tragic decision, being attacked by bears, and I lost my mom, and I almost died myself. Was taken in by an Indian tribe, lived a few years with the new family there, began to see the world with new eyes, so to speak, and fell in love with this gorgeous animal, the horse, and became quite good at it. So good they gave me the nickname, the man who walks with horses, and that led to my profession. I work with horses today. I work at the Stockton Stables company, where I take care of horses and manage a crew to service the town, the guests, and also the business people there who do not have their own place for their horses.
Excellent, thank you. We've had certainly a few events in San Miguel and leading to outside, which led to a race to Stockton. But when our last group got to Stockton, they also got rid of surprise. They had to bring back a body. And that was of a local resident, Tiberius Claude. And what I'll share, and I'll let the players decide how much they want to know about him, but what you all know, Tiberius Claude, he was definitely a runaway slave. He was trying to make as much as he could. He spent his time around the mines earning, trying to get a bit of work, trying to work on claims, and he was hoping to earn a bit enough to buy his freedom from the place. But he's one of these people that once he's got his hand on some money, he would try and win big, gamble it, look for the quick wins, look for the fast investments, anything where you could try and make money quick. That was what you know about it. And he wasn't afraid to do the odd job, so it wouldn't be surprising that he disappeared. So you would either have gone out, especially on a Sunday afternoon, some do, to watch the bear and bull fights that are quite common in California at the time. They might be seen as brutal to others, but to others it could be a fascinating excitement, especially when you've had to spend the morning listening to some preacher maybe telling you the facts of life, where you can just disappear and go, well, let's do that. Into this case, there was some certainly questions around how he died. He did not die of violence. So there was no marks on the body. There was no strangulation shots, beaten up, anything like that in that sense. As the Sheriff of Stockton did, the doctor, the physician on the town had a look over. They just think his heart gave up and he just died. And there was a little bit of concern by some of the people who brought him back. Was he infected? Did he have any of that? But assurances it turned out that he was not infected or had any carried diseases. It just looks like his heart gave up. I would say roughly he was about in his 20s, 26, 27s. So he wasn't an old person, but apparently they just think his heart gave up. They claimed it death by shock, which is not really a polite term, but they just decided to write off the death as is. There isn't really much else. He didn't have a lot of belongings. And probably the only expensive thing that he ever had is the cheap wooden coffin that he's about to be buried in. Is probably the most expensive thing he's ever been into it. He has certainly got family in the town, and I'm just going to bring up my notes. His aunt, Vipsania, and his cousin, Lucinda, they're both residents as well in San Miguel. You just don't know if they're runaway slaves or not, but there's certainly a couple of who you've seen around in the mining labours and the areas from it. And they are the people who are welcoming into it and trying to get into buried. So our scene is going to start in the Church of Divine Inspiration. It's a bit of an old wooden structure of a church. It has been taken up, and I'm just trying to remember what Dave's character's name is. I had a note of it a second ago. That he is presiding over the funeral for it because they've obviously asked, because he's certainly in charge of it. And this funeral is happening now. This is how we're starting off with it. And there is a small congregation. Some people who have been listening to it have been looking around. Most of them are just like miners, farmers, locals from it, but not a lot of the rich people. But maybe you have a reason that you might want to just pay your respects here. Do either you anybody here wish to stand and say what they're observing, or if they're in the church, are they just being polite?
I think I'll definitely be in the church. I don't think I knew him well, obviously knew of him, but having brought his body back from Stockton, I'd kind of feel an obligation to go and pay my respects at the funeral. I think I'll just be kind of hanging around in the background, just observing.
Okay, so you're in the church, but you're
So I'll be
observing
in
in
the
the back.
Yeah, I kind of sit at the back. I'll be in the church for the service, for the funeral.
Okay. Anybody else? Tiger, or do you hear? You might have seen him about, or do you?
Yeah, I think I'd have seen him about, kind of milling around town, that kind of thing. Like, sort of, so I find myself kind of in the background quite a lot. So I think likewise at the funeral, I think I'd probably be sort of in the background paying my respects to someone that I recognised. Didn't necessarily talk to, but yeah,
Okay,
recognised him and his family.
no problem.
So
And
I'm not a religious man, so I will not be in the church, but I'm managing a crew at the stables, and I'm missing a person by coincidence. So I'm curious whether or not, of course, it is one of my my workers. So I will be visiting the church when I hear the event going on there, but I will not be part of the community of Christian people.
okay, no singing or and so you're just observing.
Yes.
And our Sheriff William, how do you feel about this?
I'm in the church. I'm up, in the not right up the front, but there, lending support to the town and just making my presence felt to show that I care about San Miguel.
Excellent. And I'm just going to try and get our list of names up. Of people. So as we hear everybody's coming up, the coffin's a little bit open and you see everybody's coming in. Some people have been asked to walk by, just sort of pay the respects up into it. And you do see most of the miners from it. You do see a couple of people you've certainly felt hang around the family. They go and spend a little bit more time talking to Vipsania and to Lucinda, and they seem to be hanging back, and they seem to be acting as pallbearers. One of them seems to be a very big Norwegian lad. All of he seems to have come from it. He always refers to it with a nautical saying of sailors and how you doing, shipmates, how he dresses everybody is in that tone. So you certainly got the feeling he jumped off the boat from San Francisco. And another woman who is roughly about the same age as Vipsania is in there. You can hear the very strong Irish accent that you recognise her to be Mary Callum. The three of them seem to be hanging around together and talking away. And her husband, Liam Callum's there, but he's kind of keen as well. They might want to ask for one more person to come up, but they are just going through into it. I'm not going to ask anybody from Hawkeye, but the one thing that does strike you is there is a very much a sharp-dressed man in there you don't fully recognize, but he just sort of stands out because his suit is a lot sharper into it from it. And everybody's going up and paying the respect. Some of them are putting like a low flower on the coffin and into it. And then the man comes up and he does his bit, but he seems to hover for a little bit. Can I ask everybody in the church, give me a Hawkeye roll? I'm probably going to be asking for maybe, one or two. Just to see how many successes you go. And for the benefit of the new players, the first 5 dice, up to 5 dice, make your trouble dice. And in your pool, and the remainders into it. So let's start with who's got any successes.
One success.
Nope, I got none.
Nothing here.
Okay, you see nothing. So our sheriff got one success.
Yes.
Okay, you kind of see something a bit odd. Like he seems to have, the hand seems to have touched the body a bit. Like it was a bit on in the body and then drawn to the side very quickly again. It's very odd. And then he just says, ma'am, and one thing you do hear about his accent is it's certainly from one of the southern states. You can't quite put it down. Maybe Kentuckian into it. And then he moves away. He did seem to do something. His hand was on the body a bit longer, is what you spot.
Does he look upset?
He doesn't look. He does. I'm going to ask for an insight roll because you're trying to look for it.
Insight. No, nothing.
Nothing. You're not quite sure. You can't get a reading whether he's upset or something. He just seems to be making his way. In fact, he seems to be making his way past very quickly out of the church. And with that, they start closing up the coffin and moving up. Until you notice, as they're closing up, you notice Vipsania is now hovering over, and as she's doing the last bit, you're coming over to it. They realize they need one more person to be the pallbearer because they've only got 3 people there. They can help. They need another person to help carry the coffin.
I'll happily offer myself for that service.
Okay, yeah, excellent. So our sheriff comes up. Okay, so Glenn and Tiger, you're both at the back. Tom, you're kind of not close there as well, so I would say you're both at the back. The man who coming out into it, you can hear he seems to be talking to a few other people, but you can't quite really hear what he's saying. So if you want to give a Hawkeye roll for that,
Yeah.
give me a comment. And I'll ask another point as the sheriff is putting in. You notice that when you're a bit closer, Sheriff, you notice that his clothing has a bit of a tear in it that wasn't there before. You've probably already seen the body dress before, so you realize something is not quite right with it. It's like there's suddenly a tear in his shirt. For the benefit of those going through for the Hawkeye, did anyone pass or?
I got one success on my Hawkeye roll.
Okay. Nobody else? No. Okay. So for those that didn't pass, you can just hear the marshal says, right, we'll get ourselves get going because you're probably not as close from it. And you hear them says, right, and you go and search from it. And what you hear up is he's turned around and you hear him say, yeah, I've checked, he's definitely dead. He's not faking it. That's what you hear, Glenn. He is definitely dead. He is not faking it. And you see a glint that he's holding on like a very sharp point to it. And they head off from it.
So how many people in the group with him?
I would say you spot 3 people with him. You've seen a couple of them about, but they tend to, you've probably seen 1 or 2 come into the town of every so often, but they don't come in regularly. They're not residents in the town, but they do seem to talk to a few others in the town, unsurprisingly, from, you suspect, from the southern states as well.
Yeah, so they've all got this southern state accent.
Yeah, they've all come from different accents. There's one from San Francisco. You've kind of got that northern bit. It's not full on. It seems to But the guy who was smartly in there is definitely got a strong Kentuckian accent.
So, and it looked like this kind of glinting. It looked like he was carrying like some sort of hidden blade.
It looks like it could be a sharp blade. Yeah. So as he's headed off, and with our sheriff, he's now hammering up, and they're closing up the coffin. But you do notice, Sheriff, that sort of sharp thing onto it. It's like somebody has stabbed him, the body.
Having seen this, these guys walking out and what they said, I'm going to make my way kind of forwards in the church to find the sheriff. Again, not going to be rushing or anything. I'm not going to try and retain the respectful nature for the funeral, but I will try and find the sheriff and have a quiet word in his ear and said, it was a bit, just kind of say, if I can kind of whisper to him as he's doing it, that was a bit weird what I saw there. There's kind of southern guys walking out. He was talking about having made sure that he was really dead. And he was carrying what looked like a hidden little blade. I don't know. There's something a bit strange going on there, Sheriff, I think.
Well, that's weird. I did see him touch the body. I thought he was concerned about it, but just noticed this bit of the slash in his clothes. He looked like he cut him. Weird. No, maybe sounds right. He is testing whether he's dead or not. It seems odd, doesn't it?
It does seem odd, yeah.
So that's there. So you're just saying this. You're not saying this aloud to any other.
No, I'm just kind of whispering this quietly to the sheriff.
Do I know?
Like he should know about that.
Do we know how he died?
You just know that apparently his heart died out. That's it. That was how the notification from the other town, Stockton town's doctor. Sadly, I don't know if anyone's got doctoring roles for either of you. You could try something because the coffin isn't closed yet. Yeah.
No, I think. Yeah, so the doctor in Stockton definitely did say there was no sign of any violence.
No.
And I was one of the party that came back from Stockton with the body, so I don't know. I don't suppose I don't have any doctoring skill. I don't suppose I would have inspected it that closely, but I guess I didn't notice any.
No, but you certainly would be convinced that he wasn't stabbed.
No.
Definitely you would notice a stab wound or a gunshot wound. I think the only thing is you would see the former marks of sort of a runaway slave on the back, which is not there, but those were healed over time, but still the scars remain with it. So they're going to head off into it around. So there's nothing, unless you instigate any action, then all we'll do is nail the coffin up and they bring it forward, and all of the Norwegian, Liam, and we'll say another Paul Weir goes there, but the sheriff helps that you carry him out, and there is a grave dug for him in the town. Olaf does kind of make a bit of a joke. It's the most expensive thing he's ever been buried and slept in. And it is a cheap coffin. So the cemetery does take us down. So Matt is brought up just north. So we do see north 15, which is kind of close. We see that you're heading a wee bit down southwest to a plot in the cemetery. As you walk through, a couple of people do take their hats off, respect, but mostly they're minors. They're just kind of like, oh, we'll wave our hand, but we're kind of edging because we want to keep digging our claim, or people want to go back to their town's business. But they do pause and pay the respect as you walk by. And as you come through, you start burying into the hole into it. If anybody's not following through, give me a shout. And
I will follow through as I'm going. I'm going to kind of keep an eye around and see if I can see these the guys that I saw leave the church.
well, interestingly
around
enough,
anywhere.
you do. They're not close, but they're sort of like a bit of an old fence. And a couple of them, including the guy who's watching, they're watching from afar and watching the burial from it. And I say that I'm not going to make you do a roll for it. What you kind of notice, especially with the ducking guy, he seems to be having a bit of a rope and he's tying a knots into it. And then he seems to be rubbing his finger across it as he's observing as you're putting stuff into the ground and as you're lowering the body into the ground. But not all of them are there. You notice that, I would say you'll definitely notice that there was another person not there.
I will point this out to the sheriff as I spot them. I'll say that's them, those guys over there. And I think there was another one with them that's not there now.
That's that. So
is everyone from the church part of this walk to the cemetery for the burial? Is the Norwegian guy also there?
Yes, he was one of the people lowering the coffin in, and so is the Irish husband, and another person who, just as a clue, is an extra face into there, is helping Lauren, and the sheriff has agreed to be the fourth person to help him. It's not a big congregation, but the people that come along just want to pay their respects. Some of the people, once the ceremony was done, some of them disappeared from the back and went back to their claims. Some of the team's people were just giving through. So it's not a lot of people around. It tends to be yourselves, Vipsania and Lucinda, and also Mary, who is there in the crowd, and the final words have been said by the father. He's bringing through, and as he's putting in for maternal rest, I'll ask from it. Can I ask? I'm going to ask for everybody insight roll and see what you do as you're observing just everything around you. They give them a roll. Yeah.
Nothing here.
Okay.
One success.
Okay, one success. I think, Tony, you're going to be the one carrying this. Nothing for the sheriff?
No, nothing. I'm obviously very concentrated on my duties as pallbearer.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And you've got nothing either. Okay.
Also nothing.
Okay, well, it's a very somber. You don't maybe really know them, but you kind of also, even though you're observing other people and catching the eye, you kind of also been looking and hearing Vipsania from it and Lucinda, and when Lucinda is crying, you kind of felt it was a little bit. You're not too sure. But I almost felt it was quite forced. It was almost like she's really forcing herself to cry, which is a bit odd as well.
Yeah, so I'm getting the impression they're not really that upset he's dead.
Well, you're not entirely too sure. They do seem to be up to something, but yeah, it's a bit odd that she seems to do that. Maybe it's just something that she can't just maybe find the tears. It could just be a pure thing. You don't know.
Maybe he is faking the fact. Maybe he's not really dead. Maybe he is faking it in a very clever way.
Excuse me while I get my Deadlands books out. Oh wait, it's not that game. back to the seriousness of it. The point is that they've got through. The burial goes through into it, and they put the earth on the ground, and then for the area, and we do see the coffin getting covered up from it. What you do notice is once everything's kind of handed to the ground and everybody starts moving away, Vipsania comes up to you. She thanks you for attending, and Lucinda does as well. It's very gracious of both of you to come. In fact, if you all wouldn't mind, she would like to offer you some tea. She's only got like 10 place or a point, but she will offer to make some tea or a bit of coffee, and maybe just step in and says, "Yeah, we can help into it." You kind of get the impression that Liam is, well, he apologizes and says he needs to get back to his dig, but all of the Norwegian sailor, because he basically just stands his tall, he accepts as well the offer. They are willing to head back, so it's open to anybody who wishes to come along. Into it. That is the next stage into it. Glenn, since you pointed out to the sheriff as well, both of you notice that another man comes back. And you can't hear because the guys are far away, but you can certainly see by the action that the man comes back, he's running back, panting, and he's exclaiming something. And the Kentuckian that you recognized from it is very angry. And then because he's been tying that rope bit up with the knots, he just whacks it in frustration and anger at the side of the fence, and then he seems to be angry and just pointing his fingers at them and telling them something as well. So they just nod and they head off. You don't get anything from it, just because you did mention you were observing them, and that is what you do see. Yeah. So there it is. So there's rounds and opportunity for tea or what you do. So I'm going to open up for everybody into it. Who's going for tea? Who's going to do something else? You can ignore the plot entirely because you've got a whole town to explore. We can spend the next hour and a bit just doing other things and ignoring the plot if you want, or we open up for yourselves.
I'm going to go for the tea because I wanted to talk to the Norwegian sailor. When Scandinavian people meet each other abroad, it's almost like they're from the same country. They have this brotherhood. So I feel like I need to talk to him, and catch up on what is going on back home, and also whether or not he knew this person. I did not see the coffin or the person in the coffin. I did not get that close, and I'm still curious if it is my missing colleague at the stable. So I will use this opportunity to talk to him and see if I can learn a little bit more about what was this about.
Okay, so you're going to go and engage with conversation with Olive. That's perfectly fine. Yeah. So just see what everybody else is. Tiger, what's Tiger up to?
I think I'm also going to go for tea, mainly because I want to learn more about the sort of culture of the town and that kind of thing, and I want to see what kind of tea it is they're serving and how close it is to like native tea, I guess. I'm thinking I might do like a nature roll on it to see if there's anything like odd about it or anything like that, potentially.
Okay, so that's interesting. Glenn?
Yeah, I will go for tea. I think just because I was invited and out of respect, I think it would be rude to turn that down, so I will go.
And our esteemed sheriff, it's the first public flight offer you've given about offer for tea in this town.
I'll be going to build up further relationships in the town.
Okay, excellent. So everybody's going for tea. I never thought in the Tales of the West, if you put a cup of tea in there, people would gather around like amazing. Good job I didn't say there was free whiskey. Gee whiz, I don't know what would happen.
The whole town would be there.
Yeah. So we go over to, it's not a big place. It's actually a tent they've got, and it's part of the miners' camp from it. They're not the richest groups of miners, but there's certainly a mixed group of community with it. And the kind of partly in the teas opened up from the side. The tent's been opened up, but inside the Spaniard's tent and Lucinda's tent. You can see the sleeping areas, but you also see they've got the tables set up. They actually have quite a lot. So you see a lot of herbs that some of them you recognize from the local areas without the roll. You'll recognize them immediately as pretty much anything for seasoning, flavoring into it. So they certainly knew a couple of bits off that. And the tea itself is certainly made brewed with a couple of locals of it. Partly it seems to be a little bit of some you recognize with the berries, but some of it seems to have also come from that overseas stuff you probably have tasted once or twice. It's just not. Maybe you don't. I'll let you just judge how you feel about overseas tea, which comes from India's and everything. With it, some say they fought a war against that. With it, and Tom, you're going to strike up a conversation with Olaf now. When you're there, you do notice that Olaf likes talking. He's hanging around with Mary. So when you come over, both of them are a bit stunned. Mary excuses herself and he says, what don't sailor? You are.
Sorry.
So he comes up. He says, "What old sailor, shipmate? Where are you from?" He's got that very strong Norwegian. I won't do the Norwegian accent. I noticed the X card is in play here. So
Yeah. No, he's probably singing a lot in his English, being from Norway, and I tell him that my parents were from Denmark, and there were surveys here in the surveyors here in the region. And I haven't been back home. I was asking about how is he going back home and how did he end up here, and what is his relation to this poor person who we just buried, and who was that?
So who was Tiberius Claude? Oh,
Yeah.
good. Yeah. So yes, it's always sad to lose another shipmate. Well, he was a landlubber, but I'm sure if he served in the ship, he would be a fine shipmate. On it, he seems to call everybody a shipmate. It just seems to be a thing in the town. But he explains, oh yes, I came off when I heard about all these people going into the mountains, and I was serving up, and we got to San Francisco. I just thought I didn't want to sign up for another cruise, so I just packed my stuff, grabbed my wages, and just sort of head up into the mountains and see what I can dig up. I mean, I've heard a couple of my film filmers who just walked in, hit a bit of a rock, and they managed to strike it lucky. First instance, but it's a bit of hard work. But there are things going through. You kind of notice his eye kind of glares onto Mary a bit when he says that there are other things around here. Into that. And yes, but Tiberius, yes, he was he just going around. It's just a pity he couldn't keep his hands and his money in a good tight wallet. Always like a good card game, and I was always certainly, if it was a good card game, I'd like to be in that card game. I hate taking money off him, but sometimes if you look for an easy mark, you couldn't find an easier mark ever.
So he lost a lot of money in a card game.
Oh, he always loses. Whatever he earned, he lost. He kept losing. But yes, I don't know if he's out. If he not, he would have taken odd jobs. I don't know if he ever did. I think he might have helped working the horses, but he was always hoping to get into the mines and strike it up.
He owned his own mine.
No. He just worked on others. Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't have enough to own his own mine, and if he did, it would have been sold.
Okay.
But he went out and he made whatever much he did. Sometimes he did seem to win a bit, but he never seems to hold on to it. I swear once he had $100, but then he just never kept it.
And what about you, Olaf? How is it going for you?
Oh well, I've not struck it rich yet. Not enough to buy my own ship, but maybe one day. Yes, but yes, certainly would hope for that. But maybe you've hired him for jobs. He was always good at sweeping the stables if he owes a few cents into it. But he was never
I'm missing
long term.
Yeah. I might get back to that. I'm missing a person in my stable.
Oh,
But looking for him. It's not the guy in the coffin, that's for sure.
Right. You're missing. How long has he been away?
2 weeks, I think. They're usually pretty stable. The people I manage there, and it's around the clock, of course, that we work. So we need to have these shifts in place because guests are coming into town, day and night, and we need to be able to take care of the horses. So yeah. I'm getting nervous about him.
Yeah. Well, I see the shows. I'm sure he'll help. But when you say somebody is missing, he's kind of thinking. He's mentioned 2 weeks. Claudius. I haven't seen him for a couple of weeks. He used to bunk with him and Tiberius used to share, but I haven't seen him around for a couple of weeks. But no, he never worked with horses. He worked with the mines. He was another fellow, another runaway. It's a shame to see the shackles on such fine workers.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's pretty much into it. So that's what you hear. And it's not a private conversation. You're not whispering, so anybody can probably hear this. Yeah. So we jump over to it. The tea is quite lovely into it. So Glenn, you're saying anything? Are you engaging with anybody, Glenn, or just with?
I don't think there's anything. No, I think I will probably just have a chat with Vipsania and Lucinda, and just express my condolences, and just general kind of small talk you might engage with in a funeral. The fact that I kind of noticed that they maybe didn't look that upset about it, I'm not really. I think that's none of my business really, what goes on in their family. So I'm not kind of trying to dig into to get any information about that. I don't think. I'm just going to keep that to myself at this point.
Okay, so I think the first thing when you come up and you are known as owning a general store, they slightly pale a wee bit and they go, "Oh, Mr. Hayden, Tiberius didn't owe you money, did he? Was there an IO slip debt? Because I know sometimes he would try and borrow on credit."
No, I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of.
I'll let you decide.
No, I think he probably did come in the store now and then, but no, I don't think. I don't think he owed. Certainly not much, if anything.
No, he probably. You're lucky if it's $1 you lose or something from him. With it, but yeah. Well, she seems slightly. Please, yes, please have some tea into it. And Mary does keep offering to boil up the pot around to it. They go through, so they are grateful that you express business into it and into the caring. And for a sheriff, I take is it similar or?
To a degree, but I'm doing a bit more kind of selling myself. So spreading myself around the room, making myself known, introducing myself to people I don't know, and just kind of, advertising myself that I'm about, then I'll help people out.
So I take it you've already done that to Tom. Like, Glenn's already met you. Support. Yeah. They're very pleased into it. There's a couple other locals into that. So things are a bit quiet. So again, if nobody's going to initiate anything or ask me anything further, one thing I will ask, I'll ask for another Hawkeye roll, but this time I'm going to say everybody gets a +1. Because it's not quite it's all quite close. You're all hearing the conversations into it. You're all moving around.
1 success.
One success.
See, now we're getting it. It's not just
2 successes.
oh, right. The sheriff's too busy
I'm chatting
talking.
too much to people.
You're chatting too much, so we hear anything. Well, support your local sheriff.
Yeah.
The stuff from it. So with the one success, you do hear just being Lucinda go off for a bit. Mary is certainly keeping an eye out, and she is talking away, and she's looking around, and she says, "Are you serious, girl?" This is just speaking to Lucinda. You still have that? For God's sake, get rid of it. I can't believe you brought that back. Get rid of it before somebody recognizes it. And for 2 successes, Tom hears not only that, because she kind of moves a bit and says, "And where are you going?" "Nope, not to the river. Don't put it in the river. Don't pour it in the river." To that. So you get that. They're trying to be a bit quiet, but you pick up that just because it's from the edge bit into that side. That is what you do here.
Okay. That's very interesting. I have not seen, of course, what happened in the church with the stabbing in the coffin, so I cannot put the 2 things together. But I'm still thinking about this. Someone is having some sort of evidence and getting rid of it. So I'm going to approach the sheriff in the same room and share my knowledge with Sheriff Williams, for the sake of good order.
Okay. With that. So as you share that information, how do you both? I'll let you both interact.
Yeah. Hey, Sheriff Williams, do you have a second? Can you hear me, Sheriff?
Oh, Simon lost hearing again.
Sheriff is looking a bit frozen.
Frozen, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No.
Oh, no.
Hey,
Can
Sheriff.
you hear us? No, he's off.
All right. He went out to take a leak or something.
Your news is so shocking. He's too busy mingling.
Networking.
It's not the support your local sheriff episode.
I'll catch him when he gets in, when he's done watering the bushes outside.
That's okay. Which is a bit annoying because we're about to have a bit when someone runs towards to the tents. We'll just give him a chance. Oh, we almost had him.
He wasn't done.
I don't know what's going on. My camera's stopped working now. I got chucked out. My camera failed, I think.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
You hear us?
Yes, I can. My camera's gone for some reason, so.
Okay.
Okay. In that instance, what we're about to do is just Tom and Sheriff, we're just going to have a chat with you about some stuff if that's where you last picked up from.
Yeah. Do we have a second, Sheriff?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So it almost sounded like when I heard Lucinda and Mary, was it, talking about, it sounded almost like some sort of evidence or some sort of, I don't know exactly what it was, but something she should not have, and dialogue about how to get rid of it, and they talked about putting in the river and not putting in the river. So there's something going on here that is, I did not see coming, and I don't know what to do about it. It may be nothing, but it may be something. I'm not sure, but I'm just sharing with you for the sake of good order, so that at least you are aware of some of the things that I picked up in the room here.
Okay, well, yeah, that's strange. There's a lot of strange things going on here, isn't there?
There is.
I don't know what to make of it.
What else is going on? I don't know about anything else in this.
The cut on the body.
If I hear that, I will kind of chirp into the conversation, saying, "Yeah, actually, I think there is something weird going on because there were these guys in the church doing strange stuff, which I told the sheriff about before. There's something a bit, and they were hanging about outside when the casket was being buried. There is something a bit odd going on by the look of it.
Are they here now?
They're not in here, I don't think. No, they were hanging out kind of a little way away from the cemetery when Tiberius was being buried. But they were looking like they were a bit angry about something, or one of them was.
And who said about getting rid of something?
Something odd is going on.
Sorry, Sheriff?
Who said about getting rid of something?
Lucinda. She had something, as I understood it. She had something on her body, in her hands or in her pockets, I'm not sure. I believe she was talking to Mary. And here, Bruce, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe she was talking with Mary, and Mary said,
It would be Vipsania. They were speaking to each other. So Mary was not involved in that conversation.
Okay, who was it then?
Speaking to Lucinda and saying to Lucinda what she was doing and not to do that.
And who said that, Bruce? What was the name?
Vipsania.
Vipsania. Okay.
Yeah. The aunt of Tiberius.
So she was surprised, saying, "Do you still have it? You should not have it. You need to get rid of it." No, not in the river. So they're having a dialogue about getting rid of something they should not have. That's what I picked up. I'm not sure what it is or what they're going to do with it.
They're both still in this room, are they?
Yes.
Yes. Well, it's a tent,
but
it's an open around, and you can sort of see them around. They are flitting around, probably more closer to their belongings, because it is almost like their home. But it's like a lot of these people probably are living more in the tents. They seem to have a little bit more. So they've got like a luggage and a few dresses, but because the tent's opened up a bit, they've got outside as well, and the weather's good. You can certainly hear and see them near the tent entrance of their own place.
Okay, I'm going to casually stroll around the room as I do, chat to someone at a convenient point. If I can get both of them, then great. If I could just get one of them, I'm going to sidle over to them and start chatting.
Okay.
Sorry, before we go on, just because how to kind of chat, but can the rest of you hear Simon?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because I can't.
You can't hear me.
Okay, so
right. Let me leave and rejoin and just get out and start over. Okay, I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, so just for the benefit of Tony, he's just coming out and just going to log back in again. It's usually Dave that causes the problems. It's always a gremlin. It feels like you shouldn't be a Tools of the Old West if we don't have gremlins in the system.
Yeah.
We're just testing. Can you still hear us, Tony?
I can hear you three fine.
That's fine. It's just
it was just Simon I couldn't hear.
Right, we'll give him an opportunity.
A quick question while we wait: is it possible to get the private chats next to the cameras, or can it only be opened on top of the cameras? Do you know? The interface? No.
I am not a stream expert with the chat.
Matthew says he doesn't think so.
No.
It's probably stuck where it is.
Father Caleb Divine. Yes, he says that, but it's in the private chat. My private chat doesn't pop up. He is definitely there as well, much like the sheriff. Trying to get more for the congregation. Especially, he seems to be one short now. It's a bit harsh, I know.
Oh, maybe too short because this other guy's missing as well from Tom's stable.
Well, I don't know. Don't think. Yes, that guy's missing as well. But there was a different name mentioned. Claudius, who was the monkmate.
Hello, how's that?
So
For
we'll
me,
start with
Logan,
Tony. Yeah. Can you hear him,
everyone
Tony?
hear me? No one can hear me.
Are you speaking, Simon? Because I know I can't.
Apparently, you can't hear.
Can you hear me now?
Maybe I need to log out and back in again.
No, it's me, I think.
Because we can all hear each other, except for you two can't. So Tony's just going to try and come back in and see if he can hear you.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Can you see Simon?
Hear you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Simon,
Yes.
can you say something?
I can hear you.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Woo!
Excellent. Excellent. Okay.
Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Hey, back in business.
There's always something with this restream, it seems, isn't
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have I've brought up an information. I believe, Tony, you're about to share information. That's before we couldn't hear.
So yeah, I was just going to say, if I hear kind of Tom talking to the sheriff about what he'd overheard, I will kind of just chip into that conversation just to reiterate what I saw in the church, and that having seen these guys outside, just say it feels like there's something strange going on that we don't quite understand. With those guys in the church kind of stabbing the body, trying to check that he was really dead, and then this whatever there, Lucinda and Spinny were talking about needing to hide, and the way those guys were behaving outside when the body was being buried in the cemetery. It feels like there's something going on. Maybe there's something those guys are looking for, and I guess it might be what Vipsania and Lucinda were talking about.
Yeah.
That they need to hide.
Mm.
Something strange is going on, isn't there? That we're not understanding yet.
Yeah, so I was going to try and accost, friendly mingle with Lucinda and the other person, I forget the name of.
Vipsania.
Yeah, that's it. And just see if there's an opportunity to speak to both at the same time, or one of them.
Yeah.
Let's see. Give me a dice roll. If you roll a 1, you're struggling to get both of them. If you get a 6, you can get both of them. 2 and 3, you get Vipsania. 4, 5, you get Lucinda.
I've got a Spinia then.
Okay. So as you go through, you've got hold of her. You manage to get through and says, "Oh, Sheriff," and certainly you seem to be around. Does that mean to say you'll be protecting all people's rights?
Of course,
Because,
everyone in the town, absolutely. Everyone is equal in my eyes and deserves the full support of the law. And I just wanted to say, anything I can help you with, any issues or problems, please let me know. I like to, keep everyone safe where I can.
certainly, it's always good to try and keep people safe, but you can't, unfortunately, always keep people safe, no matter how hard you try.
Of course. It's a dangerous time out here, isn't it? So, a lot of everyone's mad for this gold, and they're all kind of they'll do anything to get it, won't they?
Yes, certainly. They're all worried about the gold. Not the skins at the back.
Absolutely. I said, do you know, and I described the gentleman who was looking at the body and did the cut to the body. Do you know that man?
No, I've never met him. before in the time, but I know his type.
Oh, what type is that?
Those that see us as property.
I understand. Yeah, it's very strange that he was up there and he was acting strange with the funeral as well.
Well, I can't say much about that, but
sure, of course, but
that's the type of man you've got to watch out for.
Yes, absolutely. But I just want to reassure you that if you've got any issues, please let me know. And if you need any help or any problems that you need sorting out, please let me know, and I'll do what I can.
Certainly, I certainly will do that. Of course, by this point, Mary sails over as well, just saying, yeah, and I'm sure we'll stay and call you out. Won't leave this venue. She says, and she says, more tea, Sheriff. This is from Mary.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
And they've all got a wee cake. It's not the best cake, but it's passable.
You can never say no to tea and cake, though, can you?
No, you can't. She always just gets whiskey. You get no cake or whiskey. And at this point, another young miner runs in and says, well, somebody's made a mess of Tiberius's 10. Tiberius's Claudius is 10. And he runs in and he says that. He kind of doesn't say that. And Sheriff, you're here. I think some vagabonds tried to mess with Tiberius's 10. And there might be a theft or a wild animal. I don't know, but the tent's a mess.
I put my tea down. I march out. Show me where this is.
Okay, so it shows you to the other tent. The tent's about hidden because there's all like rows of wee tents around the place, around to it, and you see one of the tents he points to it, and the flap's open. Inside, there isn't really a lot. There's just like a bedroll and into it, but all the what little clothing is scattered around there. And that is what you see, and it just looks like somebody's like just turf stuff to the side, up from it. The clothes have been there. The pockets of a couple of the jackets, they look like they've been ripped as well. And there's a book as well of the Bible, and it looks like it's flipped and pages are torn, like someone's just trying to flip through it. Into it. That is what's lying around. There isn't too much stuff, but the stuff in here, the clothes and everything's ripped. The shoes look like somebody's hit them and even broken the heel of some of these boots. The boots are old, but they look like they've been turned out.
I'm going to have followed the sheriff out when he went there because I'm quite interested in what's going on.
Yeah, well, yeah, because there's not just them. A few people obviously Lucinda go out as well, with it, and Mary. So they follow out from it, and they all kind of head away from there. As you go through, is anybody, Jerry, are you doing anything? Are you looking at anything? This is just what you see. It's a mess. It's like clothes are torn, everything. Is there anything you're doing? Can Simon still hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, so are you still going to do anything?
Yes, I'm kind of going through it. Just you said that, and I'm just having a look. Is there anyone around? Do I see anyone who might have seen what's going on, what happened or anything?
So you kind of ask anybody around, has anyone seen what's going on? The guy who turned around says, well, hardly anybody's been around here. Either they've been up at the funeral, or they've been up at the mines digging on their claims.
Yes.
or up that. I mean, hardly anyone's been around here, unless you're just on some errands. I only happened to notice it because I was going by and noticed it flapped around
Okay.
with it.
Okay. And you think this was done recently, do you?
Yeah, well, Vipsania says, "Oh, this is done recently because this was all cleaned this morning
Okay.
before the funeral. So somebody's done this."
I am going to nominally tidy up the stuff whilst looking through it and just kind of, examining stuff, but then putting it tidy away
Okay.
on the cot or something like that.
Okay. So I'm going to ask for a Hawkeye roll from yourselves. Everybody else who is, if anyone's assisting or involved in this, let me know.
I will offer my assistance to the sheriff.
Okay, so you've got Glenn helping as well.
So is that
Tom?
an extra die then?
Yeah.
One success.
Okay. So you kind of look around. You certainly know that somebody's definitely been trying to look for something. You get the feeling that you're not quite sure what they were looking for, but it might have been a small object. Certainly, it would have been in the pocket because they were certainly feeling in. And what you do notice as well about the clothes, the jacket looks cheap, but someone has ripped the inside lining. It's like they've been feeling to see if there's anything into it, and it's been cut by a blade as well, because you notice the threads are cut. They're not ripped, they're cut like someone's just taking a knife to slice and to get in quicker with that. Tom and Tiger, can I ask for Hawkeye rolls from each of you? Because I'm assuming you're just there outside around.
Yep.
And you'll get a +1 bonus as well. Okay, just make it easy if you can.
What we need. Or one success.
3 successes.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Gain a point of faith.
You do. You gain a point of faith. If you go for unaware, you would start with 4 faith. So you can always push a roll or push the additional successes. So if you haven't done that already, make sure you've got 4. But Tom, you're at 5 now because you've got a natural.
Fantastic.
And what you notice with your 1 success is you notice that Lucinda is not there. Tom, you notice Lucinda dashing away up into the forest. And you see her kind of in the distance away, like she sneaked off and gone up into the forest. The sort of mines, Rockies, and there's a few bit of I wouldn't want to say a forest, maybe more of a wooded area, and rocks is more because it's getting deforested, more in line with the miners getting rid of the nature to get into the soil. And that's what you see. You see her where she's headed off. And I think as well, because it's 3 successes, you spot those guys, one of those guys observing again, and they're not with the crowd, but they're watching.
Okay.
And you think they may have spotted her and seem to have gone after her.
Okay. So I might check with Tony, with Glenn, and the sheriff whether or not that person was the person they talked about, which I did not observe at the early part. But I'm also heading after Lucinda. In the light of what I heard her say, I'm very curious about this. So I'm sneaking after her to see what is going on after, verifying with Glenn and sheriff whether or not that person that I'm observing as well is that person you talked about earlier on who looked suspicious and did weird things.
So I'll confirm that it is the same person.
Okay.
This is very strange. Maybe I think, Sheriff, do you think we should go after Lucinda as well? Because it's if these other guys have seen her go into the woods and they're looking for something that they think Tiberius had, they could be going after her as well. She could be at significant risk.
I think so. I think it's, I mean, even if we do it at distance, yes, you don't want to spook them, but I think probably yes, because something's up, isn't it?
Yeah.
We can't have people ransacking people's belongings.
Yeah.
All right.
And Tiger, what about yourself? You see, I'm assuming that you can hear this because you're being close to the
Yeah. I think I've heard what's going on. And yeah, I think I'll follow behind to see if I can assist in anywhere.
Excellent. Okay. So as you head off from it, what are you going to do about the area? You just going to ask somebody not to touch anything, Sheriff, or?
Yeah, I'm going to close the flaps, tie them up, and just say the guy who highlighted it. Just say, can you keep an eye on it and make sure no one goes in?
Yeah. Because I mean, when you're in there, when you went in there, you saw the crime scene, the one bedroll, the one set of clothes that was there. And as you head up, you can start following. So as you're heading up, you're going on all four. You're heading up. It's just you four that are going up. The rest of the people are going through. They're catching up with everything else. You follow through.
Where's Vipsania? Sorry, no.
She was down
she's...
on the ground. She was still visible in there. So she was there. Mary was there. Olaf was there, who was close to Mary. They're the only group down there.
So they're down by Tiberius.
They're still
tent.
outside. Yeah, outside. And she does look a bit upset. She does seem to be a bit about it. So they head up. And can I ask for, let's see how well you do, a nature roll. Who would like to lead? Or I mean, normally it would be a Hawkeye roll, but I think...
I have 4 in nature.
4?
I have 4 dice.
Well, I have 3 cunning and 1 in nature.
Okay.
I have no nature skill. I just have 4 cunning. So
I have 2 nature and 3 cunning.
Okay.
That's 5.
Okay. Tom,
so someone can always assist. Yeah.
You should make that roll. With help. Guess with help.
And with help, yeah. You always get help. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't help because I don't have the nature skill. I think you do need to have the skill.
Yeah, you must have 1 point in the skill.
So that's one help, 1 die.
Yeah, I don't think a sheriff can help you.
All right, so that is 1 success.
1 success. So you're keeping with the trail. In fact, I probably just said you've got another dice because you spotted them with that amazing success as well. I mean, generally it'd be a Hawkeye roll to change, but I think nature will just use that. You're carrying through. 1 success is enough to do it. You can roll another dice just to see if you get another success. Shout well.
Nope.
Okay. So it's fine. So you're able to keep up to the trail into it, and when you catch up, you're following up through. I'm going to ask, I need to remind myself, is it moves? Because this is the big joy of Freely games, that everything you want to do is to move quietly. Are you going to be quiet? Are you going to be noisy, trying to get up to her, or?
I think we should be quiet, right?
Okay, because you're getting close to where you think it is. You can hear voices. It's actually almost an argument. Get your hands off me. And he says, listen, Virgil wants a word with you.
Virgil?
Yeah, well, that's what he says. And he's not got a Kentuckian accent. It's says, all we want to know is he just wants to talk to you about Tiberius. I mean, you're his cousin.
Okay.
And that's what you hear. And she's just telling, get your hands off me. That's what you hear from Lucinda.
Okay. Do we have visual or can we only hear?
This is what you can hear from it. You don't hear that. He just says, this. It sounds more Texan, this accent. He says, look, Virgil wants a word with you. Now, come on. And she said, "Now you get your hands off me." That's what she's saying.
Okay.
You've got no right to grab me here.
I'm going to approach.
Okay, so you're just going to walk up and approach.
Yeah.
And as you approach, he turns around and says, "What are you wanting?" Does he even recognize who you are?
Unhand that woman, please.
He sort of chuckles and laughs a bit. Really?
Yes. Who are you to come in here and threaten people of this town?
I'm not threatening anybody. I'm just asking her questions. She wasn't going through. He lets go of her arm. She's kind of holding on a bit because he's obviously gripped it quite tightly.
Yeah.
So she's rubbing it a bit sore. Says, "I just wanted to ask her a question. That was all about her cousin."
Fine. Sorry. That's fine, but you're not a member of this. You're not a resident of this town, are you?
Oh, so I guess visitors are not allowed.
Well, not of your type. I don't think we want you here anymore.
My type. Well, I guess you don't want the good folk around here.
Well, you don't.
If that's
seem
the
like,
case, if that's the case, I'll just be on my way.
You don't seem like good folk to me.
Yeah. He just kind of hisses and he just walks away. He glares at her a bit as he walks by, and she just kind of gives him a stare. Unless anybody else does anything, he'll walk off.
I let him walk off and just follow, just see what he's doing, and just.
He's heading back down the hill down to the town.
I turned to Lucinda. I said, "How are you? You okay? He didn't treat you too badly, did he?"
No, I'm here. It's a lot. I mean, I've had worse. And then she kind of rubs.
What was all that about?
He just said he wanted to know something, whether Tiberius kept something. I think Tiberius owed him money.
And who is that Virgil he mentioned?
I don't know, but I think that was the name of that weird Kentuckian guy who came in, who paid his respects.
Well, and you don't know who they are. Sorry.
Probably. You know what? I think they owed him money from it. With that, is anyone else going through?
I'm going to ask, what do you think they were looking for? So they ransacked his tent. They'd have known that Tiberius would have had no money, but they were looking for something particular, weren't they? They were looking in pockets of jackets, and they were looking in the heels of shoes. They were looking for something small. What do you know? What they think Tiberius had that they're looking for?
I don't know what they were looking for.
Do I think she's telling the truth?
Here we go. So insight. I'm going to give you a +1 because you've already got suspicions. I'm going to be a contested roll against her performance.
Okay, so I've got 2 successes, but if it's contested, I might push this. I've got no 1s on my trouble.
Okay.
So I'm going to push. Okay, I've got 3 successes now. I do have 1 on my trouble, but I think I will just buy that off with another point of faith.
Okay.
So I've got 3 successes.
Okay, so 3 successes. You definitely get the feeling she is, and put an impression into it. Now, she doesn't. You get the impression when you mention Virgil and guys that she is quite honest about that. you do get an impression that she's certainly hiding stuff. So what I'll say is, you want to ask me a couple of things for your extra successes. Is there anything that you kind of want to get through? You do get the impression she's hiding other stuff from you, from that. Is there anything in your questioning, or you feel free to ask anybody else to help you out for questions, anything you would like to know?
Yeah, what with it? I guess, do you want to know, is she lying about the fact that she doesn't know what they're looking for?
So she thinks that what you get the impression is actually she might know something what they'll be looking for. But so she seems to know something, but there's something else behind that as well. From it. And again, you got one other question you can ask, or if you want, we could say you can bank it for later on.
I'm also curious why she went up there, away from the town. In my mind, referring to the conversation I overheard about something that she should get rid of. Does she hold something on her body that she's trying to get rid of?
Yeah, I was gonna say, could we ask her about the object?
Okay. Do you want to use that one, Tony? As the
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so when you ask her about it, she doesn't really do a great job because there's just her, and it's a small whiskey flask. It's battered and bruised. It's kind of a little into it, but she was just said that I just wanted to get rid of it. It was Tiberius's.
Why don't we take that from her? I'm thinking this could maybe be related to the death. Could it be poison?
Okay. So you're thinking it's poison. Okay. There is some liquid in it. Maybe some good drinking whiskey. Maybe I finally brought the whiskey into the game.
Yeah, well, listen, maybe we should take that. Then it's not your problem to worry about anymore.
So she's certainly reluctant to it, and
I'm going to kind of just say, come on, Lucinda, we're on your side here. We try to help you. Let the sheriff and the law and the people of the town help you, because But if you keep stuff from us, it's harder for us to help you. If you're open with us, tell us what's going on. We can help you better, and we want to help you. We're on your side.
Okay, so what I'm going to ask for is to persuade her into it. I'm going to ask for a performing role from it. Select who you feel is the best in the group.
I have
it
7
feels like
dice.
all of you are doing this.
I have 0.
I have 7 dice.
7, wow.
It's my thing.
Yeah. Don't do your thing.
Can anyone help?
I can't even help.
Okay.
Sorry, what are we doing again?
Performing.
There.
You really are carrying this. When I put the list of skills suggested, it was just like every single one.
So I've got 1 success. Is this going to be opposed?
I would say you probably get 2 extra dice because you've already got enough stuff against her as well.
Okay, so now I have 2 successes. I will stick with that because I've got some trouble as well. So 2 successes.
Okay, so you do convince her. You're obviously trying to do it in a gentle manner. You're trying to go through. The sheriff's already been clear around with the help. And she kind of breaks down. She says, "Oh, damn it. You're going to find out that, Tiberius, if his mom found out what he was doing nowadays, she would have been turning in her grave now. I mean, nobody should do that to his own people, selling them out.
What was he doing?
Well,
selling out his own people.
Yeah. Turns out that we found out what happened to Claudius. So Claudius was the person who shared the tent with him. And he climbed him to those slave runners, turned them in to save his own skin.
Was Claudius also a
Oh yeah,
previously
yeah,
enslaved but had run away?
yeah. We all are. And me and my mom, we were scared he was going to turn on us next. Who next? Father Caleb? Father anybody else? We've got no true protection. You might be able to save us here, Sheriff, but not outside. You step foot outside and they'll come for us. And whatever Claude Tiberius was doing, he was selling out. I guess, though, you're going to have to turn this in. And there isn't really going to be much justice on that, Sheriff. It's just you four and her. She's beating her eyes out and confessing here. But I did it. My mum didn't do anything. Nobody else was involved. I did it. She's saying that. So you have just been told that she is. Told you she's killed Tiberius.
Because he was selling
his own family back to the slavers.
Yeah, well, he was selling people back to Claudius. She was my boy, boyfriend.
But slavery's illegal.
It doesn't exist, but there's still slave
if you
hunters.
come here, you can.
Yeah.
But if they if they got away, then they'd be free.
Yeah, there's still some laws, even in here. Runaway slaves can still be caught and then sent back. Is the big challenge.
Am I kind of sorry?
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I might kind of like console her and say that we've got to do what we can to like protect our own people, and that I understand kind of her plight and that kind of thing.
Yeah, she certainly grabs and thanks, but she understands. She's actually got her hand out into, as you notice in her hands, just so I could put salt of the wood, you do see the old marks of the old iron chains that never heal. So you have a decision you need to make.
One more question to ask, actually. She says, what is Virgil and his cronies? Are they here to try and take you back to be enslaved again? So I'm asking Lucinda.
Well, it's possible that they would have tried to probably get us out of town. But I think it was him that took Claudius. Or certainly one of his ilk.
We don't know where the body of Claudia is, do we?
Well,
you don't know anything about him. He apparently the only thing that Tom knows is his name was mentioned, and he hasn't been seen for a couple of weeks. And the only other thing you know, he shared the tent with Tiberius.
So he could be halfway back to Kentucky by now.
It's quite possible. He has already been sent back.
Okay. Right. I'm going to take you back to your living space. I don't want you going anywhere or leaving. This matter isn't resolved yet. But stay here. I'm not going to take you and lock you up. I think that would cause more issues, and I wouldn't want to do that. But I don't want you going anywhere. Okay?
Yes, certainly, Sheriff. I won't go anywhere. And says, but you're not going to throw me into prison and put me back in chains?
Not yet. You've committed a serious crime here. However, I have some understanding. And I think if I was to lock you up, that would cause more issues in the town. So I think, is there a leader of that? Of their group, or something?
I think it was that Virgil guy.
You're getting the impression that
I definitely got the impression that he was the leader.
And Lucinda, is there kind of someone like a spokesman of their group or anything? Or are they just kind of a disparate band?
I think that guy, that Virgil, is in charge.
Sorry, I'm confused.
Are you asking about whether Lucinda and Vipsania, their family, have like a representative?
Yes.
Kind of a.
So do they have somebody they represent? I think Lucinda, she would more see her mother, Vipsania, as being the speaker of the family. Into it. You don't know, but you do know that they are quite seemingly friendly with the other mining groups around there. Some of the families do stick together.
Yeah.
And there is a mixed group of there, mostly from the poorer families.
And is she based where Tiberius's tent is?
Yes, so she's nearby, yeah. So the Vipsania's tent wasn't too far off from Tiberius's and Claudius's tent.
Okay. I'm going to take her back to the tent and then, and walk her back there.
As we're going, I am going to ask, do we think that these guys who ransacked Tiberius's tent, were they looking for the poison?
I think the poison.
Was there something else they were looking for?
They're looking for something else. Why would they
something else that we don't know about yet?
Yeah, I would have thought so. If he was working for them and selling them out, obviously they're paying him, aren't they? Maybe he stole something as well. I don't know. Right.
Okay. Just there. Is anyone going to look in the flask or anything to see? Or I would actually say, you're probably quite good one with nature roll. Because you were already observing something early. If you want me to make another nature roll, but give me a +1 with that.
Nature roll?
Yeah. So anybody can jump in. I think Tiger can do that one because she observed something. She'll get the +1 bonus because something attached to what was said earlier.
All right. So that's 6.
Okay. And Tiger, do you want to make a roll as well?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 successes.
3 successes.
Excellent. So I think you certainly
faith.
noticed it and you picked up onto it. One of the things you recognize from all the herbs that were hanging up there, there was a small amount of hemlock was there.
Classic.
Go with classics. You might have noticed something. I was hinting at that all along.
Yeah, the fairies. Yeah.
So you certainly notice there was a bit of hemlock, and when you get through, you can pour it a little bit and notice a few of it. It initially looks like a bit of parsley from it, but you realise that's not parsley. Your eyes catch on that there was. So when he drank this, it certainly was hidden in his drink, and there was enough to to do it. It seems to be mixed with a few stuff, not enough to cause a violent, but enough to kill them off into it. So you kind of know the how, and roughly the why.
Yes.
So as you're heading back to your to their tents, you've got that. The Vipsania and Mary, they knows if you come back, and because obviously Lucinda's been in tears, and she can't quite. She's wiping her eyes and says, "Sorry, Mum, I've confessed to everything." There's a bit of Mary, being the stout Irish woman's, goes up to you, Sheriff, before you say anything. And what you've done to threaten a poor girl like that? She's very defensive, protective of Lucinda before even asking you what's going on. And Vipsania just goes, "Oh, what's going on? What's happening here?"
Hold, I know what's going on. I know what's happened. Lucinda's told me everything. I'm going to put her in your charge to keep her here and not. She's to stay here and not go anywhere whilst I puzzle out what to do and see what this Virgil and his cronies are up to. I need to keep this town secure, but something's going on. She's committed a crime, a serious crime, but I have some sympathies as to why she did that. But that's not to say she's can get away with it. So can you assure me that you'll keep her here and you'll stay here and you won't disappear?
She says she will agree to it, but she seems as nothing else. But perhaps the girl's confused from it, but she agrees. Mary says that as well, and says, "Well, we'll do that, yes." But they do seem to be genuinely, they'll agree to your terms. So just because we're getting close to the 15 minutes, we're going to do this last sort of wrap up. What is it everybody's going to try and do now? You're going to try and hunt down this Virgil?
I think we've got to quiz them and interrogate them and see what they're doing, because they've come in and they've caused a disturbance in the town. So we need to speak to them and find out what they're up to.
Yeah, I think the same, and also potentially help anyone else that needs help from them that might not necessarily be linked.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yep,
So
I'll be there. I'll back you up, Sheriff. I'll come with you.
Okay.
Well, but I should point out, if it comes to a gunfight, I've got a knife.
Too bad your deputy isn't there because he's got 3 guns.
Yeah.
I would say if you want them NPC, he can be back up, but you'll have to go by the office to tell him.
Yeah.
Might be worth it.
I guess, Sheriff, in theory, you could deputize us and we could go to the jail and we could get all armed up and ready.
Yeah.
Although, if you give me a gun, I'll be no more use. I can do stabbing, but
I'll deputize people if they're going to be of help in a gunfight.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't know if there is going to be a threat or a gunfight.
No.
They didn't seem to be too they didn't seem to be heavily armed. They might have had a pistol and a knife. That seems to be the common bit, and I think it's just fair to say that. I'm sure Matt's going in, but let's just we'll just pick on Pete's Bar. It seems to be the place where trouble happens. He will not thank me for it, but they're just drinking for a bit, and they're sitting around a table. Into it, you see them going around, and they've got whiskey bottle kicking around at the table, and they're sitting around, thinking and locking around. Because when you ask about them, they point, "Oh, they've gone in there." So describe to me how you're approaching them.
I'm just going to go in and I'm going to walk straight up to them when I see them.
Okay. What about the rest of you? How are you coming there? The sheriff has just walked straight up. I mean,
Yeah, I'll just walk back behind the sheriff, walk to the side.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I
I'll
know
be
when
there
you
as
say
well.
you back up the sheriff, I mean, there is a inside outside option.
No, I'll go
I'll be right
in
behind
with
him.
the sheriff. Yeah, I'll be about 30 miles behind.
Yeah. With that, oh, well, and he says, well, he tips his hat to you, sheriff.
Virgil, is it?
Virgil Boone, sheriff.
Sheriff Thomas, I just want to work out what you're up to here.
Up to, sheriff.
Yeah.
How do you mean up to?
Well, you're at
Perhaps
the
you need to
funeral.
elaborate.
Not really welcome there. One of your men, he's the guy who threatened.
Oh, yes, he's there.
That guy there, I pointed him without looking at him, was threatened a member of this town.
And he just goes, tut, tut, tut. You shouldn't do that, Tex. That's not very nice.
And
That's
then
what
we
he
know
does.
that you ransacked someone's belongings as well.
Me?
Or one of your guys did, yes. Earlier
One of my
today.
guys?
Yeah.
So certainly I couldn't have ransacked. I was paying my respects.
Yeah, we know you weren't. Why'd you cut that body?
Cut? Oh, you mean, and he puts he doesn't throw it in the manner, he just puts the blade. Oh no, this isn't a knife. Sheriff, you misunderstand.
Clearly.
This is my resurrection tool, like the good Lord says. Because when I put this knife against someone and press it, boy, do they scream to life. But
Nice.
obviously there was no miracles in that place.
No.
Not today.
Anyway. So what is your business in town?
Oh, and I'm just in the bit to require any lost property. To make sure it goes back.
What property have you lost?
Oh, just property collecting for other folks, for the rich folks back in Kentucky and on all the other good southern states.
Ah, I see.
You get that. What that means, yeah.
Let's be blunt. You're not welcome here. How long? I think it's about time you leave.
Really? Yeah. Well, I guess our money's no good here, boys.
No, it isn't.
I guess we'll head. Are you trying to be intimidating and give him that? Because I feel like you're trying to do a bit of a presence.
I am trying to do a presence.
Okay, has anyone else got presents?
I do have presents, yeah, so I can definitely help with that.
So you, unless anybody's saying we're not helping into it?
I am helping, definitely.
Right.
I do have my dog with me, but I don't think I brought my dog to a funeral.
Well, is it respectful though? Is it respectful?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, the dog.
It's about time I rolled a 1, isn't it? Let's go. Oh no. 2 successes.
Okay, against his lot. Let's see. There are used Games Workshop dice. Sorry, that's hell out. So, from giving that present, you've got the backing, and there's a few other times. I would say you've also got Olaf there, and he would have given you a dice as well, because he didn't like this whole business. And he's a big burly bloke. So he was giving you another dice. There, Sheriff.
No. Just 2 successes.
Just 2 successes. So he just kind of bows. He drinks up. He's taking the bottle with it. They're heading away. But he says, well, we'll leave, Sheriff.
Good. And I'm going to follow them.
Oh, yeah, they get up. And it says, come on, boys. Guess we got to go back. We've got some more property move out of Stockton with it. And as he's heading out, he also nods to a few other town folk that you know that are residents that nod back around, but they all head away and they've slowly round out of town with it. But as you go through, I think you can hear one last bit. So I'm going to ask everybody to make a Hawkeye roll to give me a listen. Nah, you're too busy because there's focus and
I'm
making sure they
too
go.
busy looking tough.
Well, I get one success.
I got one as well.
One success,
Nothing.
nothing for dire shame. Okay. So with that one success each, while you're hearing them, it says, you hear one of them mention to the Texan guy mention to the other guy who you think is the one that you saw, Glenn, running back to that, says it was already ransacked when I got there to it. Someone has already beaten us to it. But I think that boy was lying. There's no way there's anything like a blue diamond. And he just heads off. He must have been lying. And they head off in that point. You hear them because they're talking up in the horses, and then the minute you hear that, Bridget goes, shh, just hushes them, says, out of town. We talk out of town.
I will tell everyone else what I've just heard. I said, did you hear that?
So anyway, you got the one success, heard that.
Blue diamond.
Yeah. Blue diamond. Closer to being ransacked.
And that is where I'd like to bring it to a close. But if there is anything anybody wants to do for this, because we're at the epilogue of this session, because they will head off, and we have to decide the fate of Lucinda. Are you going to go back to the camp? She's still there. But when you get back to that camp, the one thing I'm going to say is Vipsania says, "Oh, come on, that girl hasn't got brain, Sheriff. It's me. I'm the one that did this."
As we're going back to the camp, I am going to say to the sheriff, yeah, we know that, murder's bad and everything, but you can understand the motivation for it. You could argue it was self-defense if they were worried that Tiberius was going to shop them back to the slavers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel you should treat Lucinda and Vipsania leniently, Sheriff, would be my advice on the matter. Obviously, I'm not a sheriff or a deputy, but not up to me, but that would be what I would say.
Yeah. So the fate is in your hands.
It is. Yes, I don't think she can let go of it completely. So
I would say I would say if you want to try and work out the consequences, a book learning role would be required for the law.
I don't have that.
I can do some book learning if you want. I can advise you on the law.
Yeah, and it sounds like I can help you as well in book learning.
How much help? Who can help?
I can help.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But not the sheriff.
He only enforces the law. He doesn't read them.
I have got. I know this for some reason. I know this law at the back of my hand. I get 4 successes.
Okay.
So
so you're arguing in defense because you've already declared you want to be protective of her.
Yeah.
You know that what will happen as well is there's a bit of a community, so they would back her up as well. They would probably favor trying to argue for it. If it went to the court and the laws, there would have been a risk that they can then argue that even if she isn't found guilty of it, they can then say, actually, but she's this property, this is still owned by somebody in there. It would have turned into that law into it. And you could maybe tie it up in a lot of the courts, but you feel that maybe the best thing is try and keep it out of the courts as possible, Because the minute it gets logged, the minute somebody gets wind of it, that means more lawyers, more money that will come into it if you do decide. But you think you would have a compelling case for argument, but the downside is you would be tied up in the courts for all that time, and it could be pro and con back and forth into it. But you do feel that the best thing is keep it out of the court, even if you would win. So
it's a small fine of a blue diamond
yeah.
that they've found when they ransacked.
Yeah, it's very odd because diamonds aren't blue. But they insisted on something.
Maybe it's a make of a special German wine or something. Yeah.
So, well, yeah, this is your
I also
decision.
thought,
You're being encouraged, and you've been explained the law that there could be a good defensible law into it, because it would be your word, and I think also the three witnesses that heard her confess might have selective amnesia. We can't remember saying that. Is that case? But you do feel the moral. So it sounds like what sort of punishment are you thinking she's going to be on?
I actually don't want to punish her, but I don't kind of want her to get away with it, if you see what I mean. So it's
probably something she's going to feel guilty about.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. Alive. So I don't think she's getting off scot-free, is she? And she's no threat to anyone in the town. It's not like she's going to be like
I mean, she could be. We did notice some of that. What is it called? Hemlock still hanging there, right? Should we maybe confiscate that at least, so they're not creating more of that stuff?
Yeah. Okay. Good. The only problem is hemlock can be found quite much.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
All right.
So it is quite a challenge. So you could take the hemlock they have off on the drive.
But they could find some more easily.
But it is quite easy to find. I think it's easy enough to find.
Just ask her to promise not to poison anyone else.
That's she promises.
Without letting us know.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to them and have a
unless it's someone we want to be poisoned. If we ever want anyone poisoned, then we know who to go to.
Well, as you do, you say that poison. You do notice her, Vipsania, and Mary hanging around that cauldron. There's the three of them when you're talking about that. You.
Which we see again.
It was always there.
I'm going to go up to them and ask them what their plans are.
So their plans are to carry on. They feel that they might be a bit safer in town, because if they go somewhere, if you've told them that Lucinda can't leave, Vipsania's going to stay. Mary's here with her husband anyway, because her husband's out in the mines. They'll agree to stay with it, and they do promise to look after, because they do. The one thing you've learned from them about the town, especially when you're socializing, a lot of the women will come to them, and some of the men will come to them for some of the ailments. They'll make the herbs, so they kind of make more healing than they do with it. So the teas in that are very herbalistic, and they do welcome into anybody who wants to learn from them. They'll gladly teach. So they talk to you, Tiger, as well, especially as you've been talking about that. They share, because they're also interested about the local land from it.
So I'm going to say, look, I understand what you did, but it's still wrong. You shouldn't have done it. You should have come to me, but obviously you probably wouldn't have made it. But I completely understand why you did it. I'm not going to punish you. However,
she hugs you and kisses you at that point.
all right. Calm down. Calm down.
Yes, inappropriate touching. Okay, so,
Okay, calm down. I said, but
because she does thank you, and she's in tears
Oh.
about that. She,
I want you to, when you're here, behave yourself. Come to me if there's any issues. Don't try and sort it out yourself. And if I get your support going forward and you help keep the town safe, then that'll be fine.
and she does promise. Both of them all say that, and Mary just backs up and says, "I'll keep an eye on them."
Yeah. And if you hear of any trouble coming, let me know.
Yes, certainly we'll come to you, Sheriff. You do. So you felt like you've made some friends in the community there, and of course you get a good slap on the back by the back and say, "That's a good saying, Captain." Obviously, Olaf's been there. You kind of feel that. Oof! And he calls you Captain. And I think that's where we're going to put we've lost the camera. Can you still hear Simon? Good, you're back.
Yeah. I can hear you. I'm back. Yeah.
Yeah, just a wee bit. So that is where I'm going to draw it to a close. That was the funeral of Tiberius Claude.
Excellent.
Yeah, good stuff.
Thank you,
Bruce. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
XP.
I would believe yes, because this is actually a session, so you get XP, and I have to remind myself from it which page it's on.
Page 19. Page 19.
Yeah, because I'm used to doing con games, not giving XP long-term games. So, did you participate? Yep. Did you risk or sacrifice significant to help you realize the big dream? I don't think anybody really had No. Did you risk or sacrifice something significant for any other character and gain additional XP if that was your partner? So, nobody really kind of sacrificed anything.
No.
Did you perform an extraordinary action of some kind? That's an interesting one, which I may feel we put in the chat in the Discord, because you did kind of realize somebody has definitely killed somebody, but you understand why. I'll put that one in the chat to see what the forum says to it. And did anyone act in accordance with their faith? Now, nobody really brought up what their faith was and see if it tested in that session. So
everyone deserves to live in peace is mine.
Ooh. Anyone else got anything?
I don't think so. My faith is reliance on myself alone, so I don't think that anything that happened today applies really.
No, you're helping others.
Mine is not developed yet, so it would be unfair.
You might have lost out in this instance. And Tiger, you got anything, Nicola, on your faith?
I've got my ancestors' drawers beside me, but I don't think
you don't feel they were in this instance. So
no.
I think we can say Sheriff William and Thomas does get 2. Everybody gets 1 at the moment, but I'm going to check because you could have done something else with another character, but you stood up for somebody, which even though the law could have been in their favor, to go against them. So I'll check that one up off the Discord and share that with everybody else. But 2 for the sheriff and 1 for everybody else at the moment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, the next session I believe will be hopefully in 2 weeks' time. I have no idea who is doing that one, but we will find out and we'll bring this to a close.